Step one, what you want to do, you want to pick out some clothes that you want to retexture, right? This could be anything. In this case, I'm using these right here. So what you want to do is go into your clothing list, go ahead and pick the ones that you want. I'm going to zoom in so I don't get in trouble. And then you'll want to remove all of your clothing, except for the ones that you want to export. So it should only show the ones that you're bringing out, right? Go into your plugins, go ahead and select wardrobe.cs list. It's a plugin by VAM, but a buddy of mine on Discord, he had recently fixed it where it exports everything. So I'll be uploading that version. I might get in trouble, I don't care. So I'm gonna provide a link to that so you can download the new version and then export your clothes. So when you open it, go ahead and hit refresh. They're all gonna be named this. They're all gonna say custom clothing item. So that's why I said to only show the ones that you want to export. And then hit dump. After you dump it, you can close VAM. You don't need it open anymore. Then you just want to hop into Blender. And when you import anything from VAM, it's the same rules as importing from DAZ with the vert order and polygroups and all that. So I already have them imported here, so let me go ahead and delete them. That way I could show you how I do it. You go into import, and then you choose wavefront OBJ. Make sure it's legacy. There's two of them. There's a OBJ and an OBJ legacy. Keep vert order and polygroups. Defaults are fine. You just gotta change these two. I made a shortcut to my VAM, that way it's nice and easy. Go ahead and double click on it, and there you go. You'll notice these are in the default shape of the character, so if you export any of these, they're not going to be shaped like the character that you have them on. They're all going to be the default. So you want to make sure that when you import them, if you were to refit these or anything, you fit it to this shape, the default DAZ character. Anyway, go ahead and go into your material. You can add a new one, delete it, whatever, it doesn't matter. In my case, I'm just going to add a new one. If you download the var, you can then open it with WinRAR and extract it, which I did over here. You can grab these images and just slap them in. So I'm just going to slap in the diffuse and the normal. So here's the diffuse, here's the normal. I'm going to put this on rendered. And then I'll plug this into the color, and then this goes into the normal. And then you want to add in a normal map. Plug that in there, make sure this is non-color. There we go. You can see they're very shiny because of the specular. So I'm going to set this to 0.5. And then the roughness is all the way down for some reason. But there you go. So those are the socks. This is how they look in game. I mean, besides it being rendered, but whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some procedurals on top of this. You can grab these from any site you want. You could buy some. You could download some free ones. Whatever. This is just patterns. And you could, of course, insert images and all that crazy shit. So I'm going to give you an example of how you can use procedurals to make a pattern and then other shit you can do with it. So this is just a normal... This is a bump map, but it says in. So yeah, I can insert these on top. I can do whatever I want to. I think I'll use this, the hearts, and actually these are kind of cool. I'll use this one. So pattern 11. Yeah, give me that one. So I'll insert this. This can go into the color for now. And then I can hit Control T. I'm going to put this back into color in a minute, but for now I just want to size this up real quick. sRGB, I can switch that to non-color, select it, see what it looks like on sRGB. So it looks like this should be non-color. If I want the variation, I can make this object. And then you want to select your clothing item and then press Control A, all transforms. That way it'll map it correctly. You can see over here if I just scale it, yeah, I can make the zigzags bigger, smaller, whatever I want to do. I could try it on UV. What does that look like? It looks kind of cool, actually. So yeah, I'm just making a pattern real quick. I'm not getting too fancy with it. And then I can, you know, combine these. So I can put this into a mix. And then change that from float to color. It's going to break. Put this into B. Put that into A. Plug that in. And then what I want to do is use this as the factor. Actually, yeah, let's just use this as a factor. And then I can insert one of those tile textures or a color of my choosing. So if I go into here, I could then tint these whatever I want. This looks kind of cool. Something like that. I'm making Harry Potter socks, so I want it to be brown. I'm going to put that in A. No, that actually belongs in B. I use a ramp here, change the fall off and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, maybe like that, and then use a gamma. Plug that in there. Actually, that doesn't belong there. I could put that in here. Nope, doesn't belong there either. Huh. How did I do that earlier? I think it was one of these. Let's see. That looks pretty good. Make it a little bit lighter. Yeah, like that. I like that a lot. And then, you know, you can get your vectors. I got this little vector of the Harry Potter logo. Put that over here. And then I can overlay this if I add that over here. Switch this to overlay. Factor of 1. That goes into there. This can also go into the factor. And then I can pull this guy over here, Control T it. That way I can get the right scale going on. Let's see, what's this look like? Doesn't look like anything. Maybe object? What's going on here? There we go. Yeah, something like that. See, the UV, it'll look nicer on. Like that. That looks pretty cool. What if I made that generated? I don't like how it's crossing. If I put it on the object, it probably looks the best. But the sides, there's not a lot I can do about that. Let's just do it on UV. This is the case where you would want to like texture paint and shit, but I'm not going to bother doing all that. You can also make this, instead of repeat, you can make it clip. And if you were to clip it, you can make this like a single logo over the top. I'm not going to do that though. Anyway, this is, I mean, I'm making this for people without Substance Painter and shit. So, you know, if you want to do it this way, you could do it this way. Not everybody has access to Adobe shit. So let's go ahead and Alt-S that. What's that look like? Black and white. Okay, okay. I mean, you can see it gets rid of it when I go back to this. It's just one of those things. I don't understand Blender's deal with this shit, but you can see it's gone. You select that, select the custom clothing item, and then I can select this and then that. Nope. It's not back. What if I change this to generated and UV again? There we go. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. Somebody knows in the comments, tell me, but I don't know what the hell's going on there. Anyway, I want to plug that in there, and then this is going to also go into the factor. Yeah, that would be cool. So here are my new socks. Maybe I want to give it a different material. You can do that if you, you know, plug it into your roughness, specular, all that kind of stuff. I'll plug the alpha into my rough. Actually, if I press Shift A, you can also add a reroute. This way it's a little bit easier to manage if you're going to be reusing stuff. So I want to reuse this for a few things. I could plug it in there. Then I could say this goes into roughness, and then you can see it's doing everything but the logo. So I can invert that and then put that in there. and then that looks good to me. I like how that looks. So there we go. I've got a roughness texture, a base color, and a normal. Now all I gotta do is bake them out. You could bake them using any tutorial. I mean, there's a bunch on Blender. In my case, I use the add-on bake a node. So if I go into new, and there we go, here's my bake settings. It's a really good add-on. I recommend it because texture baking in Blender sucks ass. So I could switch this to something else. Let's try 8912. That would be 8K. Then I can paste it in here. And I always bake at 8K and then sample down if I need to. If I want these in 1K or 2K, I'd still bake at 8K because they're going to be pixelated if you don't. So format, PNG. Yeah, PNG is fine. And how you use this add-on is you have an output and albedo pass. What you do is you duplicate it, and then you change this from albedo to what else that you want. Like I want a roughness, which would be a gloss. I mean, you can pick gloss on here, but I always do it as a gloss and then invert it after. And then I could take this and then say texture normals, and then plug all these in. So that would be my roughness, that would be my normal. And then you could suffix it. I could say albedo, rough, and then normal. And then choose a folder. I'm going to choose my desktop. I'm going to hit plus. Where's my new folder? Call this socks new text. Shit. There we go. That's why I have so many empty folders on my desktop. Is I keep forgetting enter. When you have your mouse hover over one of these, enter creates a folder. Anyway, so I'm going to put them all in. There's this mesh. It should go into all of these. Not mesh material, just mesh. So you add that there. And then I think that's good to go. Yeah, all this should look pretty good. Margin, what's this do again? Oh no, that's not what I want. Yeah, all this is fine. So I can go ahead and bake this. You just come over here, you hit bake image. I'll give you a little progress bar. Oh, no valid objects. What was I supposed to do here? Oh, target. You gotta pick a target. My bad. In this case, you need to pick the name of the object. So this would be custom clothing item 002. So if I try 002, you can see it right here. Then I can hit bake. Okay, there we go. And of course, you can do this in Substance Painter, whatever. I mean, I'm just showing you how to get the clothes out of the game and back in. You can do it however you want to. Personally, I like Substance Painter. I use Substance and also Mixer because both are very, very good. But if you don't have either of those, you're good to go. You can just use Blender. I'm making this tutorial to help as many people as I can, so I'm just going to do it with a free software. And there are texture baking tools in Blender without add-ons, but they suck ass. Just do yourself a favor. If you're going to buy anything, buy either Simple Bake or this one. This one's just a lot better than Simple Bake, but you know, if you're not doing mixed shaders, you could just use Simple Bake. This is going to take a long time. It's at 8K, so... But you always want to bake high res and then sample down if you have to, because if you bake at like 1K or 2K, it'll be stupidly pixelated. It's not like Substance Painter where they have like all these fancy anti-aliasing techniques and all that shit. If you really want to do it within Blender, this is how you would do it. Okay, it's done too so far. I'm gonna hit my vaporizer while it does this. If I were to edit my videos, this is the part I would cut out. Okay, it's not normal finally. I want these socks to look nice. I'm actually going to keep these in my game, so Otherwise, I just would have did it at like 512 inches. So anyway, sorry about this. While it's baking, I guess I should highlight if you're using the Principled Baker add-on, it does support mixed shaders. So, you know, that's a bonus. Other baking add-ons I've tried, they never, you know, you'd always have to figure out how to get it all into one BSDF, and fuck that. Like that roughness thing I did with the image, you know, the easier way would be make a mixed shader, make a specular BSDF, and then a principled BSDF, and make your shiny shit on the specular. It's also good for environments, like if you want to do like rain puddles and shit like that, you could do them super quick. Come on. Any minute now. Okay, success. There we go. And here's why I bake these out at 8K. If you look at them, they don't look all that sharp. If I were to zoom in, you could see the logo is fine, but there's a little bit of pixelation. Especially on the normal. Let me look at the normal. Yeah, see, they get pixelated quite a bit. In my opinion, they actually look worse than the original. The original textures did not have that pixelation because he probably baked them out in Substance Painter or whatever. Again, you know, if you got the money for it, get Substance, but if not, you could still do it in Blender. So I'm gonna take these. I'm gonna close this, save. Yeah, sure. In case I want to edit them again. I always save and then hide it in its own collection. That way I can come back and edit whatever I want to. I can open up the game. While that opens, I'm gonna go into the game folder. I'm gonna make a folder for this. Let me close that. Close that. Okay. I usually put all my retextures in here, cloth, and then I could just call this socks. There we go. And I can make a folder for that. This is the Harry Potter variation. So I'll put that in there. Give my game some time to open. It does take a very long time. Any minute now. Both my Blender and my VAM are so packed full of shit, it takes like a full 5 minutes to open them. Loading person, come on, load the person. I have a live reload plugin that I don't use, but I don't really care enough to think of that shit before I try to make a tutorial. Come on. Did it load her? Okay. I always hide it when I load it, that way it doesn't show her boobies. Okay, I can just load that scene and then load my textures on the character. So, all you gotta do is insert your new textures, save them as clothing object, you're good to go. So I go into here. Oh, it's still loading. It's titty magic, it's trying to load. I don't know why that add-on, every time you activate it, it takes... It's an amazing add-on, but it takes so long to load your scenes when you're using it. Come on. I'm afraid to tab in because it might crash, so I'm just going to let it load. As soon as I see the character move, it'll be good to go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what you want to do, I'm doing this with one hand. Let me put my vape down. What you want to do is go on your clothing, find the item that you're wearing, and then customize, and then go into textures, and then you can just select them. So if I go into main text, I can go into root, custom, cloth, socks. There we go. Now I got the albedo. Put that in. There we go. It's that easy. So my gloss text, which is not inverted yet, I want to open this with Photoshop. Um, I don't know if Principled Baker allows you to bake out gloss. I think it just bakes out as rough anyway. But all you got to do is use Paint, whatever. I mean, I'm using Photoshop, but you could still do this in Paint or whatever free software you want. You just got to load it up and invert the image. I mean, you could probably even do this with Windows, but you know, you go in here, adjustments, and invert. Now it's a gloss map. You could also do this within VAM. I think you could offset it, but I'm just going to do it this way. That way it's accurate. PNG. And then I would just select that same one. I could do this. I can then say image rough. I could change that to gloss. The name doesn't matter. It's just so I know what it is. And then you can go in here and find the rough and then delete it. Close that. Don't need to save it. There you go. There we go. There's my gloss to tell it to be all shiny. And then the gloss doesn't seem to do a lot here. I gotta play with the shader parameters afterwards. Then I got a normal, which I did not touch. Because I didn't touch the normal, I'm not gonna bother putting it back on. But if you were to edit the normals, go ahead and load it. And then in the parameters, you can play with the gloss and all that. So in my case, I would want to make this very shiny. If I were to play with the offset, you could see that you don't want to go either direction with it. If you're using an image to drive it, you would want to default it to, I think, 1. Either 1 or 0, or maybe 2. Here, let's see what that looks like. If I do 1. Yeah, that's the whole shebang. I don't want to do that. So if I went 0.5, that might look right. Yeah, 0.5 is the default, I think. And then, you know, you could play with the specular and all that kind of stuff. I can make it. No, that's not right. Okay. Gloss offset. What if I went 0? Is that the mid ground? Yeah, I just want the gloss on the logo. That looks right to me. And then you got your specular intensity and your specular offset. Go ahead and say 0.5, or not 0.5, but 0. If I were to load in textures, say if I want that to be more shiny but not on the sock itself, you can also select gloss text and then choose that. Oh, no, not the gloss, the spec. You can choose that for your spec too. So if I go into here, what I like to do is, if I'm getting that, like the shininess I want on it, but not on the parts I don't want, I would say gloss text for that, and there we go. And now it's just on the logo. And then you can go back to your parameters and play with it. You know, I'm gonna make it not so intense like that, and then maybe make the specular color something interesting, like green. Green looks kind of cool. There we go. That's it. It's that easy.